Well, that concludes the first season of mowing with the X758. All told, I ended up with 60 hours on it at the end of the mowing season. I mean, today is probably our last warm-ish day for at least 2-week forecast. Currently it's mid 40s. Had a couple mornings of heavy frost. The grass is starting to dry out and turn a little brown. You can see it. I don't think I need to mow it again. I don't have the weather to pressure wash the deck, so I'll have to pressure wash it in the spring. We did clean it a few weeks ago when I cleaned this for maintenance and stuff, when I replaced the transaxle fluid. But what I'm going to do today is we're going to put the deck away, and then we're going to put the 47 blower that I got from the X585 project. We're going to put it on the X758 and get the X758 ready for winter. So try out our front axle through shaft and everything, and just get it ready for the winter. I don't think I'm going to do anything else to this machine this year. I do have the 3-point. We might put the 3-point on it, but that might be a spring project depending on how things work out. So I'm going to get the deck up in the air, and I'm just going to stack a couple decks together, and because I've got to do some other maintenance in the spring on other decks, and I'll get the 47 blower out. So let me get busy doing that, and then we'll come back when we go to hook it up. All right, so with this setup, one thing I have done since I bought it, this was the pin that was holding the pivot steady, because you don't want, basically if you got a snowblower on it, you don't want the angle, because you're using both of your hydraulic ports with just the quick hitch by itself, and you have no control of the chute rotation. So what I've done is, this was entirely too long. It was rubbing here, so basically all this was sticking out. So I've gone ahead and replaced that with the correct pin for that particular setup. So the next problem is these aren't color coded. I just know that the top one goes into the black port, so that is how we're going to hook them up. Now, to hook this up, basically, because it is an X series, we can just, it's a little bit easier than a 4-5 tractor. You just hook it on there, and then you can kind of move these out to the side. Like that, and then they should fall into place. This one did, but this one is not. I've got to lift this up a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect the hydraulic ports over here. So like I said, the black is the top one. So I'm going to trace this over here. First time I've ever connected hydraulics to this machine. And then green is the next one. It's very stiff. Okay, now let's see if we can lift the hitch up. Perfect. Now that one's in. Just need a little bit of pressure down on it. Probably the frame's tweaked a little bit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come forward and hook up to our blower. I'll move the camera for you. You can see how bad I am at this. So what I'm going to do, there should be a thing to hold the drive shaft, but it's not there. But we're aiming to hook right into here. quite straight, but there we go. And then it promptly created an extra with that. Both sides are secure, so now I can shut it off and work on hooking up the drive line and then the hoses for the rotation. So I'm just going to relieve the hydraulic pressure. I'll have to, I got to attach, I've got the hose hanger for this, but I'll have to install that later. There's not any snow in the forecast, so it's not like I mostly just want to see if the blower is going to work. That's kind of the big thing for this job. So let me get the camera resituated, and we'll hook up the drive line. All right, so our next task is to hook the front PTO up, and so that should be a relatively simple task. Make sure that's good and locked on. Make sure this drive shaft's well greased. If you go back and look, many years ago I posted a video of me and my 60 broom when I angled it off to the side. Definitely crunched the drive shaft because it wasn't greased properly. And yeah, it made some really neat sounds and was a really expensive fix because snowblower drive shafts are a little bit cheaper. But basically, I want to say that drive shaft, and this was back in probably 2014, 2015. I think that drive shaft was well over 300 bucks just then. So now we're gonna unhook, or we gotta hook up the mid drive shaft. So to do that, actually, I'm gonna do it from the other side, because if you remember, if you watch a lot of these videos, remember we have our handy dandy, let me get down on the ground here, we have our handy dandy deck hanger right here. So we're going to bring that up, bring that down, and then lock it in place like that. So now our draft arms are up, and the next thing we're going to do, sorry about the sunlight, we're going to take this shaft off. Now I am using the long shaft that came with this blower. So we're going to put it on there. So this is not the new shaft that came with my PTO kit. And then next, we're going to come under here, and I should probably come from the other side so you can see. So I'm going to put the camera up right there. Hopefully you can see that. Now we're going to take and hook up this one. Basically, you shove the front one on as far as you can, and then you can take and you put this one on and you push it back just like that. And just make sure it's locked on. Just like that. And you rock it back and forth, and we should be good. There's no slop in the drive shaft. That's what we want. And so now we can try it out. Grab my plug under here. Save these for later, don't discard them. We should be fully connected. So let's set the camera up and try out all the functions and see if the snowblower comes on and see what kind of neat sounds it makes. All right, well, I think the bearings are a little noisy, and you know, it's got some wobble to it. But I think the only things left that I have to do is I got to drop the skids because of the gravel on the driveway. The only thing that concerns me is there seems to be quite a bit of delay in the seat rotation. But I'll get that figured out. I don't know if there's some loose wires in here or what. I mean, it just kind of feels when you see how it's... Maybe I just need to tighten some wires up or something. So we'll get that figured out. I'm not too concerned about that. And I'll make sure that, you know, I'll look at the video, make sure those are spinning. Yeah, we should be good to go. Before I drop, the reason I haven't dropped the skids already is I want to talk with my wife and see if she just wants to use this on the concrete part of the driveway, or if she wants to use it on the whole driveway. So that'll kind of determine where I put the skids. So other than that, we are, if we get a snow in the next couple weeks, we're set. I'm going to go put this back in the garage, and basically that'll be it for the X758 until we see some snow. The cat can continue to sleep on the seat. That's where he sleeps most nights. He likes it, so at least he's the correct kind of cat. So have questions, comments, leave them below. I think I covered everything for hooking a 47 blower up. So thanks for watching.